Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. I am Dave Yates. It is time now for the High School Notebook, brought to you by Dunkin. America runs on Dunkin. And joining us once again this week is Matt Trabold. Matt, some great stuff on the football this week. Great to have you back.
Thanks for having me.
Matt, going to talk some Class B football. Let's talk about one of the undefeateds up there, and that is UPrep. The Griffins are off to a great start this year.
Yeah, those Griffins under Kayla Gauze and his staff, they just keep rising. Last year, and it's even better this year. I mean, I think it's really a statement win to a certain degree. They go to Livonia week 4. It's their homecoming game. The Bulldogs are a staple, I would say, in the title game in Class B, and they beat them by over 2 touchdowns. I think that's maybe a little bit changing of the guard in Class B. I know Batavia is still good, but at the very least, I think there's no question now that there's a real shot for UPrep to win a sectional title this year. You look at Mike Cathy, who is arguably a top 10 running back, regardless of classification in Section 5. They have a couple of really good sophomores. Jordan Jackson, who I think is following Janathan Williams and Corey Wyatt as the next really good height wide receiver that the Griffins can utilize. And then at quarterback, a guy in Clyde Davis, who also very young, but plays and competes well beyond his years. And you mix in Ray Rivera, who has been a really big leader on and off the field as a captain linebacker for them for a few years now on top of that. And he's just the glue that keeps everything together. I think it's going to be very interesting to see. Not a lot of history of title winning, how far they can get.
You know, it's funny doing that story on them last week and talking with the coach and saying how excited he was. He just smiled when he looked at the roster, and they're proving that true right now.
And they have just so many different guys. It's not just Mike Cathy on the backfield. They really have a 2-headed, a 3-headed monster, and so many guys are getting in on it, and a lot of them are very athletic, able to play both ways, and it just really all comes together to be a big force right now in Class B.
Moving up Class A, couple undefeated. You said homecoming at Livonia, homecoming at Eastridge coming up, and Wilson's going to be there. Battle of 4-0s. There's some talent going to be on that field.
Yeah, and then Wilson, week 4, before they had that big one against Eastridge, they really hadn't played against a large school, like a legit contender yet, and then they go and play Arcadia at home, Canaan Crumbity, in recent Section 5 memory, one of the best tailbacks around. And I think people thought it would be very close, but statement win. They won by 4 touchdowns at home or otherwise. That is a big deal. And they had Jakir Moore, who I think coming into this season was known more for being a sprinter, won a sectional title, but he ran for over 200 yards. That speed, those wheels are really carrying over throughout all sports when you're that kind of athlete. And you mix in, they have all sorts of guys, not just more out of the backfield, that can use those wheels, that can really have success at that athletic part of the offensive game. And you look at a guy like senior fullback Dante McGowan is right there with Moore in terms of that kind of skill. Brennan Clark, 6'6", no more for what he does on a basketball court. But this year, he really put together a wide array of actual football skills, all 3 facets, including defense, including special teams. They really have all things firing right now. I would say definitely overachieving a little bit.
It's funny because usually when a team schedules their homecoming game, it's usually you try and put a cupcake in there, someone that you aren't going to have a problem with. But I know Eastridge is going to have their hands full, that's for sure, when they take on Wilson on Saturday. So, hey, thanks for joining us, Matt. As always, great stuff. We'll be back with more of the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College right after this.